Hey folks, we're back. We're back on the Allen sugar shitter. So what we're going to do, because I'm stuck on the record deck at the moment, I need to try and procure a gear for it. That's the base of the unit, which has got the transformer and everything on. Oh. Right, because that's the base of the record deck. Right, what we're going to do, what I think today's mission is what we'll do. The thing I like about these, there's not a whole lot I like about them, but the thing I do like, that belt feels okay. But the thing I do like about these, and I'll be perfectly honest, is the fact that most of it plugs in. A lot of it plugs in. I mean, there's certain things of it that don't, but a good deal of it does, and that's nice. And what I want to do, I want to take the cassette mechanism out. So we'll start by removing the screws, because I want to have a look at why that belt there is okay. Right, what we want to do, we want to get the cassette mechanism out, because we want to have a look at the other side of it and see why the take-up spool doesn't go around, see why the take-up spindle, table, whatever you want to call it, see why it isn't going round. And I reckon it's going to be a straightforward, easy fault. I don't expect any difficulty with this, and like I say, the nice thing about these things is a lot of it tends to unplug. I mean, some of it unplugs, which is not bad. I don't think this cassette mechanism unplugs. And shit, you cunt, where's that gone? I think that's fucking, oh there it is. Gotcha. Right. And you undo that one there as well. I mean they were, what do you call it, these? They were cheap as chips, but you know, they were designed. The whole reason why these had to exist was with people who wanted hi-fi on a budget, you know, and that's the whole reason why these things had to exist. Because people wanted hi-fi on a budget, which there's nothing wrong with that. Take these two screws out here. Not sure if these are necessary to come out, but we will take them out. Where's my little magnet? Do I have my little magnet earlier? Now I can't see the fucking thing. Where's my little magnet? Probably got fucking stuck onto something. Can't see it. Never mind. So you can just... Oh, I'll get that in a minute. Whoops, there we go, the doors just flew open. Lift this mechanism out. Right, let's take this. I might need to take this, disconnect this bar here on the record switch. And I think the way you do that, get a smaller screwdriver. Get a smaller screwdriver. Could disconnect that spring there, but I think, to be honest, oh shit. Bent that a little bit. Not broken anything, I hope. No. Let's take this off. Wow. That fucking first one's fucking, second one's tight. There, got it. Take that off. Right. Just hold the two screws in position. Take the spring off, there we go, leave that there. Now, and that is actually bent in to stop that coming out, but we need that out really. So what we'll do, we just get the pliers and just that's being bent in, so it'll got to come out. Trying to think. Come on, you fucker. You must fucking come out. Just got to bend it slightly. Get it out. Probably won't be able to do it. There we go. Straighten that up. There we go. Now I need a bit more. There we go. Just lift out now that. See, I don't want to go too far because I don't want to snap the fucking thing. I can't go too far. That's, I don't want to snap it. Otherwise that will put a crimp on it, won't it? There we go. That should lift out of there now. Let's just straighten that. got it bent. There we are. Right, so that's that out of the way. So just tuck that out of the way so it doesn't keep popping back in front of me. Just hide it under them wires. Now, there we go. Right. Let's take these screws out here. Oh, that doesn't fit. That one, that's wrong type. I don't expect this to be worn. Too badly. I expect to be fire greeted with a fucking dodgy belt or something. Because looking at the fucking roller and everything, it's nice and clean in here. So either the cassette deck wasn't used very much or whoever owned it looked after it. And if it was looked after, that's always nice to see. Put that there for a minute. Now we've got a rubber idler here. Now when we press play, which is that one, it engages that idler. So let's turn the motor. See, that's take counter's not. The take counter seems a bit. See, let's take this belt off. Yeah, that feels okay. That actually. Yeah. I reckon a bit of isopropyl on that, and that'd be all right. But take counter needs lubricating. And it's probably even that there could have been that was stopping that. So what we'll do, we'll get a couple of cotton buds, and what we'll do, we'll clean what that was. We'll clean the linkage. Clean all the cassette transport and anything else under here, including the pinch roller and tape heads rather. We'll clean it all while we're here. There we go. We'll start with this rubber. That clean. Right. There's a bit of crap on there, not a lot though. A bit. Right, there's a little dot there, so I know when I've cleaned all the way around. There's a bit of crap on there, but not too much, not bad. So when we get back to that little dot, dip that, give that another dip in. We can use the same one because got crap on here as well, it's all got to be cleaned. And there's the little dot. So now what we'll do, we'll clean the little gear. There we are. Clean this. Take all the crap off. We'll go over that one again. Just to be sure. That's it, let's just give it a dry off with that. That's clean. Let's get another one. Let's clean the pinch roller. I've got a feeling that now that's all that tape transport's going to work. That's turning nicely. Let's clean. Yeah, it's still nice and rubbery, that pinch roller. I mean, there's not even any carbon, not even any tape oxide residue on the capstan or nothing. It's fucking lovely, this, isn't it? It's clean. Can't believe how clean this is. Do the other side. What was this thing used for? The radio? Because there's no sign of any dirt in it. I mean, it's lovely and clean inside here. I mean, now what I want to check now is this. Now, I can't hold that now. That's got plenty of grip on that now. But I do want to go through the tape counter because that feels stiff. And I reckon it was that was causing it to bind up. Let's clean the tape heads. See what shit comes off these tape heads. I bet fuck all comes off them. Very fucking little. There's a little fucking speck on the cotton bud. Very little. This thing's had very little use, folks. I'll tell you that now. Clean the erase head. Yeah. This is either low hour, not had much use, or whoever's had it has kept it clean, because that is immaculate. And I say that, but it was immaculate before I started. I want to clean in between these buttons. Try and clean some of this crud off. I might have to set the buttons out to do this, and just a matter of pulling them out, it's no problem. But They work. Might get away with just put a bit of grease in there. But I'm gonna lubricate the buttons. I'm gonna put a bit of grease in there. We'll do that. Not yet. Do that just before it all goes back together. Now let's get this take counter off, because you have to take it off to lubricate it. Yeah, there's lubricant on there. It's dried up. I wonder if I can just get the pulley off. I'll tell you what, might be a better idea, because it's only there. Believe it or not, it might seem like I left that a long time, but that oil came out very, very slowly. It's a lot better. Now, let's have a look for some belts. Have a look in my box of belts, have a look in my belts. Let's leave it out for a minute because we might need that again. But let's see if we find some belts. Need one at the moment, just for the counter. Let's have a look in my box of belts up in the top here, because I've got some load up here, I think. They're idlers. Where's my belts? Are they in there? No. No, they're not there. I moved them. Must have moved them. Must have moved them to another compartment. Can't see them. Shit on a stick. Let's have a look in here, see what there is. Only need a small thin belt. That's too thick. You don't want to put one on that's too heavy. They're too heavy. But there's one in there that might do the record player, so we'll leave that out for now, because I think that one might do the counter. I say it might. It may not. We'll see. No, it's too big. Only just too big though, but nevertheless it's still too big. So we just need one a bit smaller than that. So put that one back. It's too big. But it's the thickness we need was right, but put that there so it doesn't end up getting pulled back out. So we need one of it. Oh. Oh. Empty fucking bag. I don't need to be in there. I don't need to be in there either. It's an empty bag. Somebody's got nothing in them. Oh, here's one. might do it. Reckon that fucker might be the one. Let's see if it turns the whole mechanism, because I don't want it binding up anywhere. Doesn't seem to be turning. Yeah, it is. Turn the counter. Zero it to find out. Let's have a look where's the motors. Oh, there's the motor there. Let me just desolder the motor, because what I can do the stripy one there's live. What I can do, I can give the motor some voltage. Give the motor 12 volts. Well, 9 volts I think these are. Irrespective, I can give it some voltage. On the bench power supply. And I can test the mechanism then. And test whether it all works. And I'm not putting voltage into the unit itself, so that one I said was live. That one is neutral. Just make sure they don't fucking touch anywhere. No, we're okay. Okay, plug that into there and turn the voltage down. See how many volts this motor actually is. It's turning. I want to know for exactly 12 volts. 12 volts, so I can test all the features. And it's turning. It's working lovely there actually. Now put that counter belt, but I think it was a bit fucking bit on the tight side. Let's have a look at the belt off this other mechanism, part of the mechanism here. Too small. Let's try the wind. Pause works. Fast forward works. Let's get a tape. I'm confident actually, I'm happy that all that works. But without, just be nice to just see a tape moving in it. Can't seem to fucking see one offhand. I thought I had some knocking about. I actually thought there was one. There's one in this drawer here. There we go. I want something with a bit more on it than that. There's one. That's not got a lot of tape on it. That one has. Use that one. So basically, put the tape into the machine, rewind, that's play. Well, it's playing it anyway. Fast forward, I think, yeah, it's fast forward. One way of testing it, isn't it, folks? Just get my meter. I want to make sure I'm putting exactly 12 volts into the power supply from the power supply, because there is a meter on the power supply, but 12.3. That'll do. Almost. There we go. There we go. 12.04. Now let's go the other way. Make sure it winds both ways. Yeah. I mean, this thing wouldn't even play the other day because the take up side, take up table wouldn't turn, but it does now. So just a service, you see. It's not really a fault. It's just something. It hasn't been used for a long time. Needed a service. See, and the other thing about having it running with on the power supply, it means I don't have to have the amplifier running with no speakers in it. And that's now, let's just play. That's the auto stop. I want to check that works actually, so we'll see if the auto stop works. Very rarely did on these. Yep, does on this one. With the exception of the record deck, that gear on the record deck, let's try, it's easier to turn the tape over, isn't it? So I want to let it play for a bit, just in play mode, just to make sure that table doesn't stop. And it doesn't look like it will. Oh no, we've got plenty there. I mean, there's no swollen capacitors in this or anything. It's, you know, it's you know, no burnt resistors, nothing. It's you can hear the motor catching on some of the mechanism. Let's just lift that up a bit. But I'll tell you what, folks. Just lift that up. Is that something catching? Oh, it's just the tape because it's not in a cassette, not in the door, isn't it? But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You know, it's not bad for what it is. Yeah. Stop that. Check pause. Yep. Yeah, I'm happy with this, folks. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. There we go. Right, so basically it's just a matter of sticking the two wires back on, and that's the motor connected back up again. I want to spray all the controls as well, and I may as well do that and start with the play record switch. There we go. Work the switch a couple of times. and get some cleaner into these switches. Them buttons there, they don't need doing. You can't get into them anyway. Let's just work that switch once or twice. There's a hair on the top of it there. There we go. That's it. I'll do the other switches once I put the mech back in. Might be easier. Right. Clean that. Put that back in. And hopefully we don't press on that belt. But we're not, we're alright. Yeah. There we are. Turn that down a bit further, there we go. Sure, yeah, no, we're not catching, that's good. Yeah. That's gone in cross-threaded. These are fucking different lengths, these screws or something. Because that one, it's a different length. I can't see it being different lengths. No, they're all the same length. Crap on the threads. And that one there I didn't take out. Under that, it doesn't touch anything. There it is there. Doesn't seem to touch, let's just double check. That one there. Make sure it misses everything. Yeah. That locks in, that does, that does. That's stop and eject. That's pause. That one's record. So no, they don't touch anything. I think it's just crap on the threads or something. It's gone in. Now. Oh, we're okay, don't need to change that belt, that one's good. So, turn that fucking thing back straight. There we go. 'Cause that's the soft eject. Alright. Now, put the mechanism back in. Oops, there we go. The door needs to be open all the way. The counter shaft has gone through. Right. Well, we've got a screw down there and we've got to fish that back out. I almost forgot about it. Slide that there so I don't lose it. Oops. Counter buttons come back out. There we go, it's gone through. It's there. I'm expecting this to just drop in, but I could be asking too much. That's all the buttons. There we go. Make sure that opens. Yep. It soft ejects like it should. Now we can start putting our screws back in. Now, right. That's our record switch, we'll do that last. Oh, you fucker, come here. That went down there before where I didn't want the screw to go. I knew I was going to have trouble getting the fucker back. Oh, you cunt. Where's that gone? There it is. Can I get that back out this way? Just tip it this way. Might just drop to where I can see it. There we go. Might be able to just nip it out here. You can't. Gotcha. Really what I need is my magnet, but I can't fucking see it. It's on here somewhere. make sure we get the mechanism as level as we can. It probably self-level pretty much anyway. That one in. We didn't have one that went in there. We had one that went in there though, and it also had a little washer with it. There it is. One of the little crimp washers, one of them fucking locking washer things. It went that way because it was stuck to the thing. There we go. And that connects to that ground. And the ground goes there. Right. We've got another screw here, but I don't think it's out of this. Then we have the screw for the take counter. Then the record switch. That uses a different type of screw, different size screwdriver. There we go. Now, let's put our spring back on. There we go. Put that back in. There you are. Just check that that works. Just record is that one. We need to be over that way slightly, so it's just something to do with the mechanism a little bit because we're getting buttons that are sticking. Let's try that. it. Solder that there. Try that. Yeah, I think the buttons are a bit, well, close that. There we go. I did mean to lubricate them, didn't I? But didn't. Play. Eject. No. Let's tighten all these screws back down. Yeah, then. How's at the ice cream man? Solder these wires back on. The stripy one went to red. Solder the negative on first, it's easier to get to. Tap them with a bit of solder in a minute. In fact, tap them with a bit of solder now so I don't forget. Scraps, alright. So that's the motor connected back up. Let's just crimp this back up here. Crimping it's going to be a lot easier than what's to uncrimp it, I hope. That's it, hold it there. And then just straighten that. There we go. And just that's it. That's not going anywhere. Right, just check the record switch. I can't see why it won't work. Just check it full the cable. Pulling it all the way. Yep. Right, so that's the cassette mechanism serviced. It's our cassette mechanism serviced. And I can't help thinking that this thing is low hours because it's, you know, basically there's no wear on the mechanism and just isn't. I mean, you expect to find them full of oxide and everything, but it wasn't. Nothing. Nice. How you know, how you like them, really. Right. So now let's spray all these controls. There is actually holes for. Oops. Yeah. Lift that over the back so don't scratch the front up. Right. The balance control. I mean, to be honest with you, none of these controls were particularly scratchy, believe it or not. Do the bass and treble. There we go. These buttons, you can't really get into them, to be honest. Not without disassembling it, and they were all working, so, and there was none of them intermittent or out, they were all pretty good, so make sure them wires there don't touch the tuner. It's got a flywheel tuner on this as well, you know. It's got a weighted tuner, look at that. But all these buttons all seem to work, so there was no reason. Pull them out of there. So there was no reason really. There's my magnet now, I don't need it. Oh, stick it back on there. Right. It's got a bit of oxidisation on the front here. A few scratches. Nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. Cassette door will polish up, dial will polish up, rest of it will come up okay, not bad. You know, not too bad. Yeah, it can play a CRO2 metal tapes as well. Yeah, that pause button's working now. Eject. Yeah. Just proper taping it, make sure it's all lined up. Can't see why it wouldn't be. They're good, those springs, yeah. Yep. There we are. Right. This is practically ready to go back together, this part. It's only the fucking... Yeah, it tells you there we've got a 1 amp fuse there. We've got... There's your amplifier chip, which is an Hitachi part in this particular Amstrad. They're all Hitachi chips actually. Or at least that one is. The one in the radio is. That'll be the, what do you call it, that? That'll be the stereo decoder. I think that's what that is. The top of these capacitors are all nice. There's no leakage from anywhere. Doesn't look like anything's leaked. I'm not going to recap it. It's an Amstrad after all. We've got another chip down there. The pickup connects to here because one of them chips is probably somewhere one of them will be, well, preamp will be in this stage here. This will be the preamplifier stage here. This is all radio over here and power supply. So got a whole row of electrolytics there. But given how well this worked, I've no reason to suspect any of them. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't intend to replace any of them. We've got a mains fuse here, all our grounds here, another ground here, we've got another fuse here, which is the HT fuse. Protects the that protects the rectifier and stuff. That blows if it has to. Flywheel tuner, cheap one but still flywheel tuner. So that's pretty much the service on this, folks. What I need to do next is, I can't play any music on it, not for any period of time anyway. I need to clean this up, that's a bit manky, it needs to be all cleaned. The plate for the back. There are your speaker sockets there, your aerial. We have a common ground for the speakers. So obviously that chip can deal with a common ground. Some of them can't. Some of them you have to have a separate ground for each speaker. Some you can connect the grounds to and get away. Do it that way. Let's get the power cord. Right, these wires here, these greens, this green here, that green will be a ground. It is. That's a ground. That's a I want to separate these record deck leads. We should have a blue one as well. There's the green. There should be a blue one. Well, it was. What is the blue one on the fucking mech? I can't fucking remember. But I know we're one missing anyway. We're a black missing. We're a black that somebody chopped out. That's missing. Yeah, I thought there was a blue. There isn't. Oh, the blue's on the, what do you call it? On the mech. But connects to the motor. But we're a black missing. Because it should be a black. And that's your speakers and your aerial here, power lead. So what we'll do, we'll unwire this plug here to your transformer, your secondary, ground obviously, maybe, yeah, that one goes up here to ground, goes to that wire there, and then you've got your secondary, your primary, and that Molex plug. So what we'll do, we'll plug it in. We'll plug it in, get the transformer. Now, I don't see any reason why this shouldn't power up and work normally. It did the other day. Get that bit out of the way, we don't need that bit. We want this bit. Because this bit's got the transformer on it. So and this should, for testing purposes, just slot into the top here. Not sure I'm going to be very. Not sure I can instill a lot of confidence in that. Let's try and hook hook it on. It's only for testing purposes, it should withhold. That's that one in, goes in there, and this one goes in. No, that won't stay up, will it? That won't stay up, it'll fall out. Yeah, the black wire's there. I'm going to have to do a bit of rewiring. Oops. What I'm actually going to do, I'm not going to run the risk of doing that, because I just think there could be a mistake waiting to happen. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put that like that. And I'm going to get this board up me. Get this board. You can put that there. Get the transformer wire first. There we go. I can put that there now. I can connect that to that Molex connector. That's the back. I'm going to need the back for the speaker connections. So I'll go and get a couple of speakers. I've got my test speakers here, I can use those. I'm interested to see how this cassette sounds actually. Probably sounds the same way I remember Amstrad. But let's just uncoil this. Right, there's nothing on there of high voltage. There we go. Let's put this cassette in it. So the volume's down, it is. Turn it up a bit. Whoops. Hang on. Tape. There we are. We go to. That's for record level. You can see tape is actually playing. It's not bad. Let's turn it off for a second. I don't want to be running it with no speaker connected to it. So what we'll do, scraps! What we'll do, splice these wires a bit. But I don't want to bring another pair of speakers into the room, I ain't got enough room for them. Because the speakers use a common ground, I could use either one. Let's plug that in, turn that back on, we'll just use the one speaker for now. There's no hum there at all. Let's give you a couple of seconds of this. a bit hissy. Bit hissy that. I thought it might have sounded a bit clearer than that. Let's get that over tape. Let's get that over tape. Shit. Everything's falling everywhere. Let's try this tape. I thought it might have sounded a bit clearer than that. Could be the tape, could be my tape though. Because I know that tape isn't the best. There we are.
Start again. I find a sweet soul music station on the radio. Turn down the lights and I pour the wine.
Go to the other channel. See what the other channel sounds like. Now, the thing that I most remember these Amstrad things for was seem to have had a pretty decent radio in them. There we go, let's go for this one.
But when the time is right, she always has to go. Help me make her mind.
So much for the switch cleaner.
Slow down for the time. Let her feel this love grow stronger.
And then, what are them? Let's go for.
That's before the time can start again. This time I'll meet her at the door and take.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'll get a blank. I'll find a blank in a minute, see if we can record something. Right, let's put the radio on. We'll start with FM. No aerial in this, by the way.
Hi to Carrie, very much loving this, and hi to Keris as well. I adore Moona. Super excited about your album as well. Yeah, me too. That's wicked, that tune.
That's exactly what we got with Memories.
At Memories Funerals, we put
No aerial in that, and we're still getting.
the first phone call to the last. We're here to help. Memories Funerals.
It's classic FM rock.
Proper alphabet. I just thought you could say what you want. So like T for tree, L for lemurs. We thought it's not very up to date. We need to shake it up for 2000. So it should be like C for cheeky Nando's, or like A for are you? You know, that sort of thing. If you would like to be part of this, text us now 81199. Pick a letter. You can pick the whole alphabet if you want. If you've got.
I just had my finger on it then.
Do you think we should be sympathetic to Iran's predicament?
So good, isn't it? Notes and out of touch. Let's play that with loads of love and a big happy birthday from listens to your show all the way home from a hard day's work. You make
Well, that's FM anyway. Let's go to AM.
5 each evening, my darling.
The long wave. Might have trouble with the AM because I've got a noisy power supply on.
Former international Ed Joyce has been appointed interim head coach for the Irish women's team.
Look at that, it's picking an Irish station up. And
Munster Rugby have confirmed the reappointment of former Irish international Laurie Guest as the head coach of their women's side.
that's what I say about the radios they put in these Amstrads. I mean, you know, the radios were half decent. I mean, they really were. I mean, how I can't get this. I struggle to get this station on all my other radios.
On the opening day of the festival, first winning the Group 2 Coventry Stakes
And getting it on this one effortlessly.
Arizona. He then won the final Group 1 of the day, the St James's Palace Stakes.
Let's go to medium wave. Oh, that's FM. Remember, I got my noisy power supply and it plays up on medium wave.
Instead, 3 Brexit Party MEPs were returned along with MEPs from other parties. So this constituency, this area. To have you both with us, Ronnie. First of all, you're just 17.
That's because of that power supply, and I can't be asked to turn it off. But what I might try and do on this, I might try and do a head alignment, just do an azimuth adjust, just try and pull it in a little bit better. But you know, let's. I want to find a blank tape actually to try and record something. That's it's on the radio tape. In fact, I'm not going to mess with that actually because there's no noise in there. If I put it onto phono, look at that, no hum, nothing. It's as silent as an angel's fart. Let's turn it off a minute so I can turn the whole thing round. I want to just see. Whoops. Because I'm pretty sure on these that you can snap this piece of plastic out here. Oh no, you don't. How do you get in to make the adjustment? If I wanted to, that is. Your adjustment's on that side. There's a little notch in there. And you'd go through to it with the not necessarily that screwdriver, but you'd go through to it with one of them. Just even find the right one, because I do have a screwdriver for doing azimuth adjustments. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've got this little thin one here. It ain't for that. I just want to see where the adjustment is. It's there where I thought it was. In between the, it's there. In between the play and the rewind, it's that one there. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna what do you call it? I'm not gonna rule out the fact that that tape ain't recorded clear. So I'm gonna get a tape. I'll tell you what I'll do. Bear with me. Right, let's pop this one in. I don't know, I haven't got a clue what this is. It's just called My Weekly. My Weekly what? Be anything. So from a box of cassettes I bought the other week. See what it's about. Oh, hang on.
Called simply Water. To the tune of tinkling icicles, she etched the wintry scene, leaving fronds of whiteness where her icy touch had been. Sad grey streets she spread with frost till they sparkled in the dawn, covered all the barren trees with glister till they shone. Flecked with feather duster flakes of downy snow, shook them down.
That's not bad actually. So now we know what that is. I could probably play that actually and get away with it. Here's one I did on my Decca Compact 4. See how this sounds on here. I've just got this out of the Decca.
Down in the night like the wind does. But you ain't afraid if you're washed in the blood like I was. Smaller cages and John Wolfman kept me company.
Bit loud that actually.
By my bed.
Yeah, it was a bit loud that because I had it maybe I had the record levels a bit high, and we've got this other one here, which has got which came in a pile of cassettes I bought. But this is the one we'll try playing it first.
Telephones are ringing. Lonely days, my baby's taking care.
The speakers are shite as well. So what we'll do, we'll go to FM.
Check. I think that the doctor would be saying that they were about to have a nervous breakdown, and you know, the great, what I call the Great Brexit Wars started with the resignation of Margaret Thatcher and that knife in the back from Geoffrey Howe over Europe. And it's been festering ever since, but really I think matters are coming to a head, and any leader who gets elected is going to have to face this party who's perfectly prepared to to destroy their own party and to see the breakup of the union, and would doubtless
record in
knife
mono,
another leader in the back
that'll get rid of
rather
the
than
X.
lose Brexit.
Tom, we had a slightly contradictory message there. We had this YouGov poll which was pretty clear about the strength of opinion over Brexit. Then those opinions from Conservative Party activists which seem to contradict it.
Didn't have one
What's your
touch
feeling
record
about the
back
way
then.
that Conservative members feel about Brexit and feel about its import?
Well, it's
I'm
not on
sure
these
those
things we
two
didn't.
things are actually
Right,
quite
so
so contradictory. What we saw is
might be a bit
that,
loud on there to
Conservative
begin
Party
with. Let's put
membership
this
are
onto the
incredibly passionate about leaving the
record.
European Union, partly because they view it as something that would be overwhelmingly beneficial to the country, but also the party. The party's electoral success.
There we go.
Delivering that mandate that it was given 2 years ago in a general election to enact. And if we look at the wording of this particular poll, it's not so much saying that they would rather X happen than would rather leave the European Union than X happen. It's saying we'd rather Brexit took place even if this scenario took place. So diving into the detail of this poll, what it could in fact be saying is that the strength of feeling is
Might be a bit loud on the...
yes,
Well, play it as records. Right, let's see how we do.
Your feeling about the way that Conservative members feel about Brexit and feel about its import.
I'm not sure those two things are actually quite so contradictory.
It'll come back on in a minute. I turned it down, didn't I?
Overwhelmingly beneficial to the country, but also the party. The party's electoral success depends on the party delivering that mandate that it was given 2 years ago in a general election to enact.
And it's
if you look at the
recorded
wording of
equally,
this
really.
particular poll, it's not so much saying that they would rather X happen than we would rather leave the European Union than X happen. It's saying we'd rather Brexit took place even if this scenario took place. So diving into the detail of this poll, what it...
Let's rewind that again and try the other channel. Let's just... I'll turn that off a second. Bring the fucking leads over here if I can get them. There we go. I don't want to short the fucking... Don't want to short the fucking output. Obviously not. Don't want to do any damage. Especially since this thing seems to work reasonably not bad. I mean, it is what it is, obviously. I'll never make it out to be anything it ain't. Right, play. Make sure we get...
Your feeling about the way that Conservative members feel about Brexit and feel about its import.
I'm not sure those two things are actually quite so contradictory.
And that's why I turned it down. So we know erase is okay.
Beneficial to the country, but also the party. The party's electoral success depends on the party delivering that mandate that it was given 2 years ago in a general election to enact. And if we look at the wording of this particular poll,
A bit higher on one channel than it is on the other.
They would rather X happen than we would rather leave the European Union than X happen. It's saying we'd rather Brexit took place even if this scenario. So diving into the detail of this poll, what it...
Try the other side of my tape. I mean, it sounds a bit fucking... Sounds a bit slow, to be honest, but is the decker a bit slow?
If you're washed in the blood like I was, smell a cake jasmine.
Let's put this Johnny Mathis one. I'll tell you what. Let's put the Johnny Mathis one in. Get Johnny Mathis. Yeah. I mean, the decker could be a bit on the fast side, I don't know. that's okay. That the Decker is running a little bit fast, only slightly, but given I don't record much on it, I'm not bothered. I'll adjust the Decker the next time I do a service on it. But yeah, that's the just try and give this balance control a bit more of another spray. I need to go and sort scraps out in a minute, folks. Yeah. Alright, well I'm not going to turn that back on for a minute because this stuff is conductive, so I'm gonna leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. It's so this actual part of it is done. I'm happy with it. It seems to work well. I mean, it sounds a bit crappy on these speakers I've got connected to it. Because I actually had on a decent set of speakers on Sunday in the front room before I even touched it, and that radio sounded half decent. I couldn't check the cassette then, obviously. But that's part 2 of the Alan Sugar shitter, and you never know, it might get upgraded from shitter yet. You don't know, because I mean, this thing's got to be getting on for 30 years old, and it's still with us, it's still working. I mean, all I've done really is just done a basic service. I've not actually done a repair as such. I've just done a basic service, which is what would have been done in the day. You know, I know that because I used to do them. And I've not had to replace anything apart from the belt on the counter. That's all I've had to replace. And you know, I've got to work on the turntable because there's a gear shade on that, but that's probably because somebody forced the bloody thing at one time, because the belt's slipping, so somebody probably forced the turntable open and trashed the gear. But you know, as regards the main unit, yeah, I'm giving it a clean bill of health. Let's turn it back on now. That balance knob should have cleared out by now. Let's turn that back on. Yeah. Yeah. So there we are, you see. None of the knobs are scratchy. There we are, folks. The Alan Sugar Special. And this has been part 2 of the Alan Sugar Special. Don't forget to join me for part 3, which is gonna be really it's gonna be just trying to sort out that turntable, see what I can do about that. I mean, if I can't, then what I will do, the space that's under there, I will find a use for it. Maybe put some, maybe storage, and I'll put the sockets on the back so a separate turntable can be connected. Maybe go down that route even. But I might even convert the under. If I can't get it to work, if I can't get the part, if I can't find the gear to fix that that drawer, that turntable mechanism, then I'm not going to put it back in like that. I'm going to make modifications and probably turn the underneath into cassette storage. That kind of idea. I thought at first I was going to have to use these bits that are on here at the back here, that for the turntable, because I thought this and this was all one piece, but it's not. So, you know, this is separate, luckily, so I can do something with that. So, you know, but I'm pleased. I'm pleased at the way it turned out. You know, so yeah, make a good. I don't know, make it. You know, it'll make a good stereo, I think, for someone. Someone who wants to play a few records, listen to a cassette or two, record something. Radio's excellent on it, I mean, but like I've always said, and I don't care what people say, you know, the radios they put in these things, they were actually very sensitive. They were very good. It was one of the few. It was one of the few points. It was one of the few good points that these Amstrad things actually had going for them. You know, I mean, the cassette decks are a bit lousy. The record players, because the cheap BSRs, are very lousy. But the radios in them, I mean, yeah. You know, the amplifiers weren't bad. I mean, the original speakers that came with them, they were a bit crap. But if you put a set of decent speakers on them, and the amplifiers weren't bad, you know, so yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is, to be honest with you, but you know, the radios on them, they don't disappoint. You know, not me anyway. I mean, well, let me tell you this, folks. If Amstrad brought out a radio tomorrow, and it was as sensitive as what these were, because these were very sensitive radios, they weren't bad. If Amstrad brought out a radio tomorrow that was as good as one of these, just a radio, just a mono radio with AM and FM and a speaker, you know, nothing fancy. You know, I'd go out and buy one tomorrow. If they were as good as what these radios were, because these were, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, you know, a lot of people see them as being shite, myself included, but that's only the cassette deck and the record players. I mean, the cassette decks weren't brilliant, but there again, they weren't meant to be. They were cheap. You know, when these things were made, you know, they never promised superior sound quality. You know, they don't give superior sound quality. You know, but the radios were good. You know, definitely. And a lot of people, in a minute scraps, there's a fair amount of people that actually only just listen to the radio. You know, a lot of people bought stuff like this and did nothing else but listen to the radio. So, back in the day, if you were in the market for a good radio, or at least a half decent one, then, you know, you could do a lot worse than buy one of these. You know, you really could. I mean, I've owned a few of these Amstrads over the years, and I've never been happy with the cassette decks on them. The turntables were lousy, but every single one of them I've ever owned, they've always had a good radio on them, always pulled in loads of stations. I mean, I will do another test on AM on this. I mean, but look how it pulled that Irish station in. You know, just about every radio I've got in the flat struggles with that. They really do. Everything struggles pulling that in, but this got it as clear as day. And I didn't even have to have the volume up that much either, and it was really pulling it in. You know, and yeah, I think that's you know, at the end of the day, you know, I just think that they had lousy cassette decks, fucking lousy record players, good radios. Radios were good on them. Anyway, I'm going to have to go and sort Scraps out, folks. And he's here at the side of me. Yeah. Yeah, he would say hello to you, but he can't because he's a dog. Yeah. Because he can't speak. Well, he can in his own way. Can't you, son? Yeah. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there because I need to sort him out. And you all take care. Join me for part 3 when we'll be back on the Alan Sugar shitter. Catch you later, folks. Bye for now.